Mic check, anybody? Mic check. Just getting warmed up. Thank you, Gina. Looks like everybody's piling in. We'll get kicked off here in just a moment. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Well, that can go away. Hey, Micah. Welcome. Welcome back. It's been a while. Anything new in the Bigfoot world like we want to talk about? Anything weighing on your minds? We'll dig into some pictures here momentarily. But anything you guys want to talk about, feel free to bring it up. North Carolina is one of those states where it's like, it's expected, you know, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's because of the heavily wooded area or, you know, let's just be honest. I mean, these creatures could be pocketed anywhere, you know, but they have to have enough area for hiding. They have to have the food source, you know, that sort of thing. So the East Coast happens to be really popular. I know that the West Coast gets all the credit for, you know, Washington, Oregon, Northern California. I get it. But the East Coast is a hotbed. So Yeah, totally. They're totally omnivores. They're opportunistic feeders, right? So it's kind of like black bears, how it's like if they can eat a deer, they'll eat a deer. If they eat berries, it's berries. If you throw out your trash, they'll eat that too. I mean, when you are that large of a creature and you need that many, I don't even know, I wouldn't speculate how many calories they need to survive, how much protein they need, but it's a lot. So, yeah, I mean, they're opportunistic. And a lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. But I believe that there are pockets of Bigfoot that consider humans as a food source. I mean, I get that like killing a human is a large expenditure of calories, and it's it's a chore. So you like predators, they eat the easiest thing they can eat, right? They're not going after, like lions don't go eat other lions. They go after gazelle and things that are easy to hunt. Yeah, I do, Micah. Yeah, we posted that video. That was in Australia, so that would have been considered Yowie activity. But yeah, I totally remember that. That was crazy. But I put out one, I think it was, one rambling of a madman where I talked about cave dwelling Bigfoot that most likely use humans as a food source. And it's amazing to me how many people are just like, no, that's not possible. I think people have this like image of their mind, like Harry and the Hendersons, it's like polar bears. Coca-Cola like did the world a disservice by portraying polar bears the way that they did. And I mean, people, they're so cute and they're this and they're that, and they are, but polar bears will eat your grandmother and not think twice about it. You are a bag of meat, you are a protein source and nothing else. And to say that there aren't some Bigfoot that feel that way, or that just, they grew up that way, that was the way that their ancestors trained them to be, you know. Yeah, not Granny. Oh yeah, she's done for. New Year, absolutely. Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for the compliment. Um, yeah, we hope to, and I know this is a little preemptive, so I'm just giving you the inside scoop, but we hope to get a little podcast going on our Patreon channel, and it's going to, if I can get it off the ground, it's going to be no holds barred. It's going to be a lot more adult geared than you'll find on our YouTube videos. Our YouTube videos, they have to be a certain temperature or YouTube will take them down or they'll get reported, so we have to be careful. Thank you, Granny. But if I can get the Patreon thing going, the podcast, it's going to be a lot more frank discussion about what I feel a lot of people don't talk about. It's like the Bigfoot subject tends to be a lot of the same, and I have some like burning questions and theories that I won't put on YouTube for fear of jeopardizing the channel. But stick around. Like I said, give us a few months. We're working on it. I'm excited about that. So we put out this picture a while back. Actually, I think it was in the last video, and I had said I didn't know exactly where it came from. And one of our viewers reminded me. They said that it was from the Erickson footage, and I believe that they're absolutely correct. And after they said that, I was like, "Oh yeah, of course, that's where that came from." If you're not familiar with the Erickson footage, look up the Sasquatch Genome Project. Or I can't remember the man's first name, Adrian Erickson. Um, they had some pretty sweet footage of a Sasquatch that they had tracked down. They did some DNA samples and stuff like that. So it was a pretty interesting project. And a couple people out there saying it was debunked. I didn't hear such a thing. I don't know who debunked it. You know, I everyone always kind of jumps to that like, oh, it was debunked. But yeah, sure. So I can try via my setup. It's a little awkward. Right here, you're just gonna see the back of the head. There's no features to be seen here. So what we're looking at is a creature uh, believed to be sleeping, and we're looking at the rear of it. Welcome, Jackson. Llama. I mean, if we had a couple hours, I could talk about pyramids. I would actually have to have a whole different channel just to talk about pyramids. Fascinating subject. I'm just gonna give you the short of it. Um, no, they were not built, in my opinion, by the Egyptians. I believe what we know as the ancient Egyptians. I believe that they were found by the Egyptians. With the new studies on the Sphinx, how the marks on the side are now considered to be watermarks, that puts the Sphinx like 12,000 years like older than we thought it was, predating the Great Flood. Um, there are so many machine marks, just mind-boggling amounts of work that it would have taken to cut like these huge blocks out of a mountain and then transport it down the mountain to the middle of the desert. It just does, none of it makes sense. Not to mention the guy that's the head architect of the pyramids, he has been for decades, and he has done his utmost to seal up any truth about the pyramids and just stick to the actual narrative, that everyone believes, and that's what they want to do. So where do they come from? I don't know. I mean, I would say an ancient civilization. I'm not going to go as far as to say aliens, but I would say an ancient civilization that was far more technologically advanced probably than we are, and certainly more technologically advanced than the ancient Egyptians. I mean, come on. So yeah, like I said, I don't necessarily want to have an entire episode about pyramids, but I could. Maybe we'll do some special in the future, some Bigfoot Input live pyramids. Tommy boy, welcome, sir. Welcome to the party. I heard something about you not being able to attend last time because you had to go buy plumbing parts. Yeah, I know, Jaxie. I would too. I wouldn't turn that down. That would be super cool. We might do it. You never know. I think you could talk about that all day and all night. Thank you, Llama. I appreciate you showing up. Kathy, welcome. Yeah, I appreciate that, Llama. I'll take all the subs I can get. Kathy is Bigfoot World Cryptids, the Paranormal Central Florida. If you haven't seen their, well, I mean, they have a YouTube channel. That's excellent. That you go hop over there and drop a sub. They deserve it. Or check out the Facebook. Excellent stuff on there. Yeah, that's right, Micah. They were inside and they found a square tunnel, and they put not a drone, but they put like a little like a remote control car with cameras and stuff, and they got it all the way up into the top of this damn thing, and it had a door, like a metal door, and they wanted to rig something to open it, and this guy stepped in and not only said no, they couldn't do it, but kicked them off of the investigation altogether. And if you want my honest opinion, I think the most sound theory that I ever saw about pyramids is that they are an ancient form of a power source, like, like a nuclear power plant. To me, that makes more sense than anything. All these pyramids that are all over the world. Why? Why would they all be? It makes no sense. So, I mean, there's thousands of pyramids. Maybe I shouldn't say thousands. There's a lot, though. It might be thousands, it might be hundreds, but either way, we only ever hear about like 3 or 4, but there's just tons more, and there's like just peppered all over the world. So I think that they had a real purpose, and I think that that is probably that they were able to create power. Holy crap, Tommy. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I was gonna give you a hard time. I was gonna say, like, if you don't want to come to the live shows, you don't have to come. You don't have to make up excuses that you had to go get plumbing parts. But I feel bad for you, man. Seriously, that's a terrible problem to have. No, that's fine, Llama. I mean, honestly, we we tend to dig into a lot of subjects, not just Bigfoot, not just cryptids. We get into paranormal, ghosts, anything weird. We love it. The pyramids are definitely one of the weirdest subjects I think in existence, and that's why, again, we could talk about it for hours. Um, so I tend to avoid the subject just because it's too big of a subject. It's also a very controversial subject. People they don't want to talk about anything new, any new theories. They want to just kind of believe that the world is the way that they learned it in school. But as we get older, we start to learn that school taught us a lot of lies, like a lot of things that maybe they thought were true, and we're kind of coming around to seeing that, well, not exactly. Um, yeah, I think I'll leave that at that. Yeah, Micah, you're right. I mean, I think we can all agree that there was a civilization before the flood, and I think we can all agree that there was a flood too. Uh, Whether you're religious or not doesn't matter. Every major religion in the world has a recording of a great flood. And to me, that's evidence enough to say, yeah, well, that was probably a real thing. That's cool, Tommy. I mean, I've being down here in Florida, it's like I've been through 2 solar eclipses that I can recall. One was just like what, 6, 7 years ago, and I've never been close to totality. So I've only ever seen, uh, just the sky gets kind of dim, and it gets kind of weird. It almost looks like you're in the middle of a sandstorm or something. It's kind of creepy. I didn't really find it to be that interesting. But then again, I wasn't in totality. No, the world didn't end. I did think it was funny though. I was like, if we just go out and put a bunch of shoes, like just pairs of shoes, you know, maybe some old clothes, just kind of lay them around everywhere. Everyone's expecting the rapture, and then it didn't happen. And then I think they bumped the date out to, oh man, is it the 17th or the 27th? I think they bumped the date because it didn't happen during the eclipse. So they're like, oh no, it's the math, it was the mathematicians or the numerologists or whatever the hell they are, they said it's going to be a little later. So they've been expecting the rapture since I was a kid, as long as I can remember. Yeah, that's right, Kathy. It was 2017. That's what I thought it was about. Yeah, about 7 years ago. So oddly, almost at the same time too. I think it was like June or July last time. Yeah, I bet it was July. So weird. Let's see what else. Do we have anything else to look at here? Thank everybody for rejoining us after the last, I'll call it a fiasco and be nice. The good news is I'm back in my element, whereas the last live show I was completely out of my element and it didn't work out too well. The bad news is this show isn't that great. So it's still it's still the same quality, and for the last one to go lesser quality was a real disappointment. Let me tell you, but we're doing okay. We're back. We're back on our feet. We got back in the driver's seat, I guess. I never saw that one, Micah. I don't know. I'm not a. I've seen movies. I'm not a big movie buff, though. So, Jaxie, that is absolutely one of my favorite subjects. I have watched the full 11.32 minute Patterson Gimlin film. Um, if you do some research, you'll find that before that film, Patterson Gimlin was filmed at Bluff Creek, there was loggers there trying to do their job, trying to deforest this area for whatever reason, probably just to make paper and stuff like that, or lumber. And they were getting into these skirmishes with people that lived in the woods. They said they were big, giant, hairy people that lived in the woods, and they were getting into these fights, and so they had to call the authorities and stuff, and then like the National Wildlife Association got involved at some point, and it's widely believed, or I shouldn't say widely, but it was believed that they hired a group of hunters to come in there and clean out this area so they could continue their logging efforts. Because believe me, I mean, nobody's going to let anybody stop their efforts. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to money. So there is a theory that exists that the big brown piles that you can see in the Patterson Gimlin film are not logs, but that they are Sasquatch bodies. Now, I don't know if I believe that part necessarily. That part's a little more difficult to swallow. But do I believe that they were chased out of there by force? Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that they were confronted. They probably didn't back down. They went up against firepower, and for the most part, I think they lost. And if we're being honest, as depressing as it is, if we're being adults about this, Patty is probably dead. She probably died that day when she was filmed. And I think the only reason that Patterson and Gimlin were there at all is because Robert Patterson knew people in that area, in that industry, and was invited out there like, hey, if you want to come and get this thing on film, now's the time. Come and get it, because they're going to be dead soon. Sorry for ranting, but if you want to know my opinion about the Patterson Gimlin film, that's it. Welcome, James. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Kathy, I had the opportunity. You sent me that audio. It's very interesting. I wish I don't have the capability. I mean, I have some capabilities of audio video, but I don't have the capabilities of like cleaning up the audio necessarily, which would be a cool thing to have at our fingertips for situations like this. But the last time I tried that, it didn't work out. I'll just put it that way. Yeah, lumber is a massive business. Massive. I'm trying to think. No, I don't really know any. I don't know anyone either. I mean, I know. I know a Photoshop guy. He's a member of this group, but no, I don't know any audio visual guys. You know, James, and that's true. I think what we're gonna see happen though, coming in the next, 15 years, 20 years maybe. I think we'll start to see they're utilizing more and more materials for building. One of those materials is recycled plastic, composites, things like that. I mean, if your house was built out of composite wood, could you imagine? It's just some sawdust and plastic. So I think and we're slowly getting out of the era where we need paper. I mean, with electronics, with email, we got all of our news online. I think paper is slowly starting to become a non-thing, So I think we'll see a lot of less deforestation in the future. But what's never going to stop, I think, is human growth and building. I don't know, exactly where you guys live, but where I live, we see nothing but apartment buildings just being shot up randomly all the time, and it's just taking away from whatever forest did exist. Now it's just nothing but sprawling suburb and commercial and wash and repeat. That's a shame, but we call it growth. So I don't know. Isn't that sad? Yeah, we call it growth. James, it's good to talk to you. I don't know if you ever, I don't know if you actually watch our videos or not. I've used numerous of your photos, though. I would say at least, what do you think, Kathy? 4, maybe 5 photos of James, at least. Very impressive stuff. So appreciate, what you and Bigfoot World are doing out there. I know Kathy, obviously, I use one of her pictures almost every week, but this is the first time I think we've had the opportunity to speak. So, but yeah, I do enjoy a lot of your pictures. Speaking of pictures, the one on the screen right now, I believe I had come to the conclusion that I thought it was probably not real. I can't stand on that solidly, but I don't think this is real. It's so incredibly pixelated. It's almost like it's pixelated on purpose. Like the face is pixelated. If that makes sense. That's just the face. Welcome, Pam. Thank you for stopping by. Naples. Oh, Micah, you're in Naples. Okay. I have an uncle that lives in Naples. Interesting area down there, yeah, but you're right. Sprawling, like Fort Myers area. I know that's a little north of you, but I mean, man, just one suburb after another. Just nothing but. And I worry about things like the Myakka, State Park. I'm like, how long is that going to be? I guess it's heavily swamped. So I guess that's a good thing as far as like Florida Preserve. They can't really build in a swamp area yet. So I think that's the only thing that keeps them, safe. Because we know there's skunk apes in the Myakka State Park. I mean, we know that. That's right. I'm glad to have you guys here. Let's keep rolling through these. Maybe we can pull up some old pictures of maybe Kathy's. Show these guys what they're missing. This is Dennis Herstad, I believe. Yeah, very cool picture. I have never spoke to Dennis personally, but I don't know. It's a weird relationship with Dennis. He gave me permission to use his pictures, but I've never actually spoken to him. I had some questions about some of his stuff, but this one is pretty cool. Somebody had asked me to point out the features. I don't know if that's going to be possible with my setup. You know, when I do the videos, I would say just go watch the video. Go, because I try to recap the last video that we did plus. So you'll find all these pictures in the last video that we put out, which is not doing so well. So if you guys feel like going and dropping a watch and a like, I'd appreciate that. Hint, hint. But anyway, so yeah, you can see like this cheek, this jawbone right here, this jawline, and the mouth and the nose and the eyes, and it has the hair up here. Very cool picture. And I mean, Dennis Herstad is as real as it comes, you know, so I don't have any doubt about the legitimacy of his pictures. Very, very cool stuff. He crashes early. Yeah, he's on the West Coast too, right? I don't know. What the hell time? It would be like 4:30 there. I don't know how early he's crashing over there in Oregon or wherever the hell he's from, but oh, this is another Dennis Herstad. I don't know what the hell this is, but it's wild. There's like something going on up here. Then of course, like this guy in the middle, which is the one that I focused on during the video. There's a for what this picture is particularly pixelated, and there is a hell of a lot of pareidolia going on in here. Now, if you want to get on the subject of pareidolia and what it is and what it isn't, we could talk about it all night. And whether I have a question that I've never really posed to anyone before, and that's about the actual existence of pareidolia. Because as we all know, science is only as good until they find something better or they find something different, you know? So anyway, that's my whole like weird, like I don't know, little theory about it. It could be a long conversation, but yeah, like this picture in particular just has a ton of faces. And I think, I don't know, I've always tried to be careful as far as weeding out what is possible and what is pareidolia. Now, like I said, I think I've done that, but that being said, I could take a step back from myself and ask the question, is pareidolia even a thing? And if it isn't, let's just, for a second, say that it isn't. Then what the hell is staring back at us in all these pictures? So, yeah, so sleep tight. I don't know how to answer that, but don't know, Kathy. You know, it's like if we entertain that theory, I mean, we have to talk about why are Bigfoot surrounded by spirits? You know, are the forests like that mysterious? I don't know. Like if you look at like Catherine Norris, like her stuff. I mean, she has pictures of creatures that you don't know what they are. They're not, you know, some of them look like Bigfoot, some of them look like people, some of them look like fairies. I mean, even some of your pictures are just really, you have to question yourself, what the hell am I looking at? You know? And that doesn't mean it's not real. It just means that what is it? And we can't classify it, you know, which gets our brain, as humans, it gets our brains all jumbled, you know, like we can't classify something. It gets weird to us, you know. So, you know, James, on that note, I mean, yeah, we've had pictures of spirits, you know, that we didn't know that were there, obviously, because you can't see them, you know, until they show up on film, which makes sense. I mean, our eyes are only programmed to see like a certain amount of light and a certain amount of frequency, so we just sort of miss those things, and then they show up in photography. 432 hertz. I mean, you know, what can I say? That's a huge thought. That's one of those wormhole thoughts. You know, I respect it, but I'm also not going to get into the subject. That that's a deep one. You know. Interesting, Kathy. So you think that they're surrounded by basically like the spirit of their fellow forest dwellers, sort of, you know? I mean, I think that's what you're getting at. I mean, it's an interesting theory. I have nothing to combat it. Why, you know, obviously. I never thought about it that way before, you know. Uh, is your name Drob? I don't know. All right. So, what do you think Bigfoot really is, and why? Um, Man, I'll tell you what. If you'd asked me that question a year ago, I would have given you some sort of pedantic answer about Bigfoot being a non-classified ape type, you know, primate species, you know, unscientifically documented. That's, or, you know, that's not documented by science, that sort of thing. So it would have been a very logical answer. Um, Given the last year of my research, or you know, my Bigfoot like study and research, stuff like that, I would have to say that my stance has softened on the possibility of them being of some type of paranormal existence. But it's very weird because I fully believe that there are Bigfoot that live in our physical plane, and they need to eat. They take shits. They, you know, they have places that they dwell. You know, they have children. Um, I know that for I know that for a fact. And then there's a part of me that wonders, but I'm like, yeah, but man, there's been so much evidence of paranormal activity, you know, and like Jaxie just brought up, you know, interdimensional. I mean, I don't even know. That's a wormhole in itself. You know, are there other dimensions? Do they come from there? Did they come through some sort of portal? You know, hey, look, I try to stay on the left side of Bigfoot. I'm constantly getting dragged onto the, or vice versa, maybe. I don't know how you want to put it, but I try to stay on the logic side of Bigfoot, but I constantly get dragged to the other side. And the more I get dragged there, the more things I learn. Man, I just got to be honest. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I'm in no way any sort of expert. Um, just a guy who likes Bigfoot. Yeah, that's interesting, Kathy. I mean, again, I don't dispute you. Um, I have an interesting position in life because I'm an atheist, as it were. I don't necessarily believe in a omnipotent higher power, but then again, I know for a fact that if you, however you want to, say the word, whether you want to say ghosts or apparitions or whatever you want to say, I know that they're real. So to me, either that is some sort of leftover energy field from like a fading world, like Jaxie brought up is interdimensional. There's something going on there. I don't know what it is, but there's more to this realm than we know. I think we can all agree about that. Speaking of Catherine Norris, killer picture right here. Drop. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that I think a lot of cryptids are more. I lost my. What the hell's going on here? I'm sorry, I got a little technical difficulties. Give me just a second. Live chat. Here we go. Okay. Sorry. Drop. To answer your question, so I think that a lot of cryptids are bullshit. Sorry, it's true. I think that a lot of it is a misinterpretation of what people are seeing. Um, I think people just make stuff up. There's just some random stuff. So I think a lot of the stuff that comes out of the cryptid world is probably not true, or at least people think it's true and it's not. I'm not saying that everyone's a liar, but it's just I don't know. I think there's stuff's not true, like like the Flatwoods monster. I mean, I think it's an interesting subject, but it was that real? I mean, and you hear about all these those things in California that have nothing but legs and they just walk around. Come on, man. I don't know. Chupacabra. It's probably just some mangy dog. It's some mangy wolf type dog. There's just so many things that can be misinterpreted. I've never believed the Jersey Devil was a real thing. Anyway, to answer your question, probably not. Is your name Fraser? Fraser? How about George? George, my problem with that theory is that Gigantopithecus would have had to have survived for, oh man, I don't know, uh, 30 million years, somewhere around there, completely undetected. And same with Neanderthal. I mean, just so long ago, completely undetected. So unless we are talking about a complete hollow Earth theory, which I'm not opposed to, by the way, or layered Earth, whatever. If there's no magma under, like the crust has magma, that's it. The rest is just hollow. It has layers, things, areas for people to escape and live, and okay, we could get into that subject, but that's probably the only way that makes sense. I don't think that Neanderthal is still, well, like I guess it would have to be, like you say, a hybrid, so it would have to be the ancestor of Neanderthal and Gigantopithecus. The timeline is too far like it's too spread apart, you know. It's kind of like saying like short bear or short nosed bears, you know, if they were still around. They're not. All right, Briggs. Let me show you to the door. I ain't got time for that shit. Job. I personally believe they're all members of the same family. They're all the same um, DNA. You know, they're creatures of evolution. Maybe different adaptations, obviously. Whereas you got the, Sierra Nevada Bigfoot that are 10 foot tall and muscular, and you have the Florida skunk ape, which is 6 foot tall and lanky. It has to do with environmental adaptation, and the needs of each creature. We're not going to let them get out of hand tonight, Kathy. No bullshit. We're going to kick them out. One of these days I'm gonna get smart. I'm gonna start appointing a moderator. When the numbers get up, I mean we're at 19 right now, but earlier we were at 40. And when they start getting up into the 40s and 50s, sometimes depending on the crowd, it just gets out of control. And I'm gonna start appointing a moderator and just let somebody else start kicking these people out. All right, D Rob, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the questions, man. Thank you for the intelligent questions, man. It's cool. You can feel free to ask anything here. It's pretty open forum. I mean, that's an interesting theory, James, but you notice the three things that you mentioned, what they all have in common is that they all have water to hide in. Being that humans can't breathe underwater, we have less of a chance of extincting these creatures or, even knowing their status, frankly. I mean, we still don't know if Megalodon is a thing, and it could be. I've seen some stuff that's like, whoa. But in fact, I have a video that I want to share at some point that might be like Megalodonish. But anyway, so not necessarily to argue your point, but my point is this, is that if this is a land-dwelling creature, unless they are interdimensional, even if they are subterranean and sort of dwell more in cave systems, which I believe, it would be a very hard existence to be on this earth since prehistoric times and humans not really know about it to the extent that we do. I think that, give yourself a couple 100 years ago, 300 years ago, Bigfoot was probably a far more common thing Like the Native American tribes, they talk about, their forest brothers. Some of them call them the forest demons. It depends, and this goes back to my theory. It depends on the mentality of the tribe of Bigfoot. There's good tribes, there's evil tribes, and it's like the Native Americans would tell you about how some of them would, help hunt, gather. They would live side by side peacefully. Others would tell you about how they would run through their camp. They would steal their women and children. I won't talk about the atrocities that they probably committed on these people. So, there's two completely different schools of thought there, and I don't think it's different schools of thought. I think it's different types of Bigfoot. Kathy, I hate sandhill cranes. I hate them so much. I know that they're like protected and they're all majestic and blah blah blah. I hate those bastards. They're so noisy. They do sound like prehistoric creatures. But I mean that's all birds have adapted from dinosaurs. I mean, or evolved, devolved, whatever from dinosaurs, I guess. So I don't know. Is it that? I guess it's not that far outside the realm of possibility, but yeah, I hate sandhill cranes, man. Man. I almost got into a fight with one, but that's a whole other story, so. My stance on taking a creature? I guess you mean like in captivity or killing one? I mean, we see how humans act, right? We know that this is an inevitability. It will happen one day. They will catch one somehow. They'll kill one, whatever they're going to do. If they catch it alive, it'll end up in a zoo. I know, whether you know this about me or care, doesn't matter. It's my show. I hate zoos. I absolutely hate zoos. There are some zoos that do more good than harm in the world as far as animal rescue and that sort of thing, repopulation and whatnot. I get that some animal captivity is a positive. However, most of these zoos are there for you to plunk down your $30 and go look at the lions and the bears that are living in this little, just tiny little enclosure that's just ridiculous. These creatures, a lot of these creatures roam for, miles, like hundreds of miles. They roam the earth, and now they're like in this tiny little enclosure. So yeah, so I hate zoos. I refer to them as animal prisons, and I hope that no Sasquatch ever gets put in that situation. And I guess in that, I hope they do have superpowers. I hope they can just, cross their arms and blink their eyes and get the hell out of there. But unless Sasquatch is truly a supernatural creature, I don't think that's possible. And I'll tell you, for them to be supernatural means that every single photo that we've ever seen of a dead Sasquatch is fake. And that's an interesting theory. That's an interesting subject in itself. I mean, granted, there's not a ton. I would like to think that I have 80% of them, 90% of them. And we do post those. We make videos of those, and we post them for our members to view, and we post them on our Patreon. but we do have cryptid corpse videos available. So yeah, like I said, if Bigfoot is a supernatural creature and there was no way to kill them, then that makes every single picture of a dead Sasquatch that we've ever seen fake. So, just saying, you can't have one and the other. Oh, let's see what else we got on here. So, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to necessarily bang our heads against the wall on these, because the reason is because a lot of these pictures are better under close investigation. And if that's the case, if that's what you're interested in, go watch the video. Go watch the video that we posted previous this week, and you'll get just that. You'll get to look at these pictures in depth and close. But I'm going to skip through these pictures, and I'm going to see if I can find some better pictures to look at, like some more like sort of eye candy. I think the government. Yeah, so I don't know how long the government has known about them, but I mean the eruption of Mount St. Helens is a good example, right? There was so many bodies that came up after that eruption that like they had to send helicopters up there to go and get them out of there because they didn't want humans to find the remains, and then we would know a little too much, I guess. Yeah, I think they're very family oriented. I think they obviously they have tribes, they have children. Yeah, that's true, Kathy. I mean, you never know what you're gonna find out there. This is a picture of a supposed dogman. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. You guys know how I feel about Dogman. I keep just compiling evidence of Dogman. One day, maybe I'll pull it all out and go, well, you know, maybe. But as of right now, I don't think that we're gonna get anywhere on that figure subject. You know what? I owe Scott Loomis an apology. I haven't talked to him, but so I found a face in this picture that I thought was cool, and I brought it up and I showed it. And you're welcome, Michelle. And somebody had pointed out in the comments, they said, so you mean to tell me that this face over here in the bush is a Sasquatch, but this huge thing right in the middle that looks like a Sasquatch isn't a Sasquatch? Okay, you know what? Case in point, you're right. All right, touche. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. I'm not too big to admit that when I'm wrong. So yeah, this guy standing right in the middle of the picture that I completely overlooked could very well be the Sasquatch that Scott took a picture of. So, like I said, I had pointed out, I think this face over here. I'm not sure how well it's going to show right here. This guy. Can you see that guy? To me, oh yeah, right there, right there. It just looks like a big Sasquatch head. Like he's under the bush. He's under this like sort of teepee of sticks, and you know, and that's I was looking. I was kind of looking for the fine details, and that's what I found. And then, like I said, this guy is like, yeah, but what about this big guy right here in the middle of the picture? You know, I get it. So I'll say that I was wrong about that. Well, I'm not gonna say that I'm wrong about it. Actually, let me take that back. I'm not saying I'm wrong about it. I'm saying that I overlooked this one completely. I sort of walked over dollars to grab a dime, if that makes sense, right? So anyway, I think this is a cool picture though, and thank you to the jerk face viewer that pointed it out. I'm just kidding, but yeah, it's a cool picture. Canyon Carter, Sasquatch, and San Diego. Sasquatch in San Diego. I buy that. Sure. San Diego has a lot of sort of rough terrain, and it's, you know, whether they're coming up from the Mexico area or coming down from Northern California, you know, Oregon, whatever. I buy that. Hey, Bill Robertson's here. What's up, buddy? You ignoramus, you. D-Rob, however, have I ever had an encounter? Yes, I have had. We found a footprint where I live, and I heard a very distinct vocal in Pennsylvania. I am yet to have a visual. Bill, he's a funny guy, Bill. I've yet to have a visual. I feel it one day I will have a visual. I hope, you know, but yeah. So I'm happy with the audio, the audible that I heard. It was very, very distinct, very cool. If you're honestly interested in that, you can scroll back on the channel videos, go back, you know, I don't know, probably not even a year ago, and you'll find one called My Bigfoot Story, and it tells you, I tell about 3 different encounters. Some they're varying in degree, you know, as far as, you know, intensity, but yeah, if you're really interested in that story, I won't bore all these people that have probably heard it 10 times, but feel free to go back and check out that video. I appreciate you know, having an interest. But yeah, big old Bigfoot howl. Very cool. You guys remember this picture? I think it came out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Has everyone's ever seen this before? Okay. Hang on, D-Rob. Yeah, you're going to open a can of worms, buddy. All right, so, Jaxie, the part of PA that I was in was just below the Poconos. There's a town called Blakely. I do not remember the county. But yeah, so Blakely, Pennsylvania was the town that I had the encounter. Okay, D-Rob, look. I don't hate the BFRO as much as everyone else. Okay? Yeah, they're tools. I don't like Moneymaker or the hell's that guy's name? Jay Bobo, that guy. I don't like him either. I don't care about him. I don't really care about any of those guys. You know, I think they're all just jackasses. But they're making money. That I do respect. Moneymaker is a millionaire. He's worth $3 million. Now, how did he get his money? Does he have dirty hands? You know, maybe. That's not for me to say, you know. So the reason a lot of people hate them is because they feel that they're pinpointing all of the locations of these creatures, and that eventually there'll be nowhere for them to hide, that they're posting them publicly. Now, understand, they're not posting them publicly without people's, you know, permission. People report these things to the BFRO, and then the BFRO makes a report about it. So really, they're just reporting what they're getting reported. So, you know, I don't know, a lot of people think that they're evil, the evil empire, this and that. I don't know about all that. To me, they're just another TV show. You know, they're just Expedition Bigfoot and all these other contrived mountain monsters, all these other contrived television shows. Uh, I don't mess with them. That's all. Not for me. Oh, anyway. So, if I could, this picture, what's interesting about this picture is that this creature has a chin. Because a lot of people have dismissed this as being a gorilla. So here's the thing about it. Humans are the only primates that have chins. I bet you never thought about that before, because it's not really something to think about, but it's true. I think including the Neanderthal, I believe. The human. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Neanderthal. Including Homo erectus. Yeah, so the Homo sapien and the human are the only primates that have chins. So why this matters is if this creature has a chin, which he very obviously does, this is not a monkey. This is not a gorilla. I don't think gorillas live in California anyway. But anyway, that could have been, you know, doctored. But so yeah, so this creature has a chin, which makes it unique to primates. So there's a little known fact you can take home with you. I don't think families is really the proper way to put it, because I mean, you know, I think it's more about like subspecies. Black bear, polar bear, brown bear, sun bear, you know, there's all sorts of bears. And they're all different colors. You know, so I think that's the idea. Yeah, I don't think that they're necessarily families, because that would be a big family. That would be, you know, thousands of the same family. I think it's more of your DNA, how Irish people have red hair, you know, Chinese people have dark hair, that sort of thing, you know, like that sort of idea. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Yeah. Sure. Yogi Bear. What was the little one? Yeah. That's a very good question. I mean, you could jump to the conclusion that they'll be found where they're most prevalent. So, who has the most encounters? Shit. Is it California? I know Florida's like in the top 3. Ohio and Pennsylvania, not surprisingly, are like in the top 5. So anyway, wherever they're the most prevalent, you could say, yeah, boo boo, thank you. You could say that. I think Bigfoot Tony debunked that photo. You know, it's I never watched a lot of Bigfoot Tony. I hear good things, but I've never actually seen a lot of his stuff. I know he retired. But I think that's an easy guess to say, like, well, wherever they're most prevalent, that's where they're gonna get, you know, caught at. I don't think that's the case, though. I think it'll be some random situation. I think this photo is from Rancho Cucamonga, California, if my memory serves me right. But, you know, people can say a photo's from anywhere. Yes, I do, Michelle. I have a video posted of that a long time ago, and I do have photos somewhere. I have so many Bigfoot photos, though, it's impossible to say that, oh, yeah, sure, it's right here. Way too many. But to go back to D-Rob, your question, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a random situation where, like I don't know. Hell, I really don't know. First of all, I think it takes the public believing enough in the creature to even have a team that wants to go hunt it. You know, like the whole bring it alive, you know, there'll be a reward on it, that sort of thing, you know. So I thought this picture was super cool. Florida Bigfoot, what's his name? Billy posted this. And it's a great picture of an owl and how well it can camouflage. Kathy, you leave them in your forest. Don't let them catch one. I'm pretty sure that he's not listening, but I'm drinking some of Conor McGregor's whiskey, Proper 12 tonight. So, Conor, if you're listening, it's very good. He might be one of our 30 members tonight, you know, 30 listeners. Could be sitting home bored, nothing else to do. What's this Bigfoot shit all about? Alright, let me see. Yeah, well, that's true, Michelle. That's what we were talking about. They will absolutely put it in a zoo if they catch one. That's just human nature. We're assholes. We think that we can just capture every creature that we feel like and put it up for display. And I will tell you, if I'm honest with myself and all of you, there would be a part of me that would be like, man, you know, I want to see this creature too. Like, you know, a creature that you've been fascinated with for most of your life, they all of a sudden say, oh, we've got one here in a zoo, you can come check it out. You'd be like, there's a part of you that would be like, oh shit, like I want to see that too, you know. But my moral stance would keep me away from there, so. Come on, Jaxie. Rake is fake, please. Come on, like, what about feral humans? You don't think that feral humans live in cave systems, get pale skin, develop echolocation, develop tapetum lucidum, night vision? There you go. You've got a rake monster. You know, you've got the rake. They had no desire to wear clothes because they live in a cave system. It's a very simple jump from feral human to rake. I don't know, John. I wish that were true. I don't know. Humans suck. there's a few things we haven't considered about like why you don't find Bigfoot bodies. First of all, not every bone like fossilizes. In fact, I think is widely known as chimpanzees are. We have two fossil examples of chimpanzees. Two out of the millions of chimpanzees that exist. We've got two fossilized bones. So not everything fossilizes. Not every area is, ripe with fossils and has the condition to create fossils. So, that being said, if you're out in the woods, I know Tommy's out there in the woods a lot, Kathy, obviously. If you're a woodsy type person, how many times have you come across the dead bear? How many times in the Sahara do we find a dead lion? Like a male lion, like big predatorial type creatures. Alpha creatures, like alpha, what do they call them? Apex predators. They don't purposely they won't allow themselves to die in public. Basically is what it comes down to. If they can help it. Unless they die in some like fight or something. But they will hide because they don't want to be eaten alive. That's why. They know better. So chances are there's cave systems just full of Bigfoot bodies. I'm going to throw this out there too. We don't know that Sasquatch isn't cannibalistic. Perhaps they eat their dead. Why would they eat their dead? Well, because it's a source of protein. And they don't turn up food, due to taboos. They don't have taboos like that. Maybe. This is speculations. Maybe they don't have taboos, and this is just an easy meal. And it could just be built into their thought process. I mean, humans eat each other on occasion. Why not? Everybody say goodbye to David Hughes. Speaking of rake, I have no reason to believe this is real, by the way, but still a cool picture. Yeah, Micah, there was a story, I can never remember the guy's name, Albert something or other. It was like 1912. Maybe a little earlier than that, actually, but he claims that he was scooped up by a male Bigfoot. I don't know if he fell off his horse, hit his head or something. Anyway, there was a whole story behind it, but he got scooped up by a male Bigfoot, taken back to the family, and basically just sat by a tree. He was just put there. And I don't know, just sat there for days. Like, I'm not sure what the plan was. But he ended up distracting the male Bigfoot by giving him some tobacco, and the male Bigfoot like was kind of spazzed and threw it up and had a big fit about it. And he took that opportunity to run. Now, the truth of the matter is, if that's true, and the male Bigfoot wanted him dead, there's no amount of running that's going to fix that situation for you. I mean, us comparative to them, my God, it would be like a herd of cattle running behind you. And if you didn't die from fear, I mean, it would catch you. There's no way you could outrun it. Impossible. Micah, I don't think I've ever seen that video. If you come across it, I would love to check it out. Bigfoot Input, at gmail.com. Alright. Panfish. You're out of here. Hello, Ander. Welcome. Snuff. Yeah, Micah. Isn't that the same? This is snuff tobacco. Oh, tobacco and coffee grounds. Sure. News to me. Never had snuff before. Yeah, I would appreciate it, Micah. That sounds right up my alley. Forgive my scrolling. I'm just gonna try to find something real interesting. And I have so many, like literally hundreds of Bigfoot pictures that scrolling through is a task in itself. That's interesting. The Goat Man. You guys seen that one? The Maryland Goat Man. Gifting is a good way of actually communicating. I mean, is there inherent danger in it? Yeah, totally. You're dealing with feral creatures. You don't know. Or at the very least, you're dealing with creatures that you just don't know anything about, So gifting comes with dangers. I wouldn't feed. I wouldn't provide food. That becomes... There's too many stories out there in the world where people try to feed or feed accidentally. Maybe they just put their trash scraps out on a certain night, and the creatures take it as you are giving this to them almost like as a stipend, really. And then when you stop, or if you stop, then there's disruptance, and it's like it could be aggression towards you, your family, your home. It could be anything, So no, I would not advise putting food out. But if you want to like maybe leave like some marbles or I don't know, there's a variety of things you can do. Get creative with it. But like Scott Carpenter before he died, he was doing things like sticks. Uh, he would take sticks and make figures out of the sticks, and then they would take the sticks, they would take them apart, they would make new figures. So what that does is it rules out creatures like crows, birds, raccoons, possums, whatever. It's actually intervention from an intelligent creature. Not that crows aren't intelligent, but you know what I mean. They don't have phones. I don't know if it's D-Rob. I don't know if it's a matter of they become dependent, but they become expectant. It's like if you're throwing your scraps out, like if you say you live out in the country, right? People do this all the time. They will take their scraps out to like say a fire pit and they'll dump them, and then they'll burn them like once a week or whatever. Like they don't, because they live out in the country. They might have trash pickup like once every 2 weeks or something like that. So they just don't want to leave their food scraps hanging around. So they'll throw them into like a pit. And then if you got a tribe of Bigfoot that live nearby, they come and they eat the food out of the pit. And then all of a sudden you stop throwing your scraps out, or maybe you go on vacation. You're not there. They become expectant of that. And they come around and it's not there, they take it as disrespect. So it's best just not to start the process. Man, I love YouTube. I really do. Oh, God. Okay. Alright, so Morgatrodon. Everybody say goodbye to this asshole. Bye. Alright, another one down. Yeah, a mirror. That would be neat. I mean, they probably see themselves in water, so they wouldn't be completely adverse to reflection. But, yeah, to actually have a mirror, that would be cool. I absolutely don't feel it's real. I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time explaining this picture, if I'm honest with you. And there's two of them. This is just one of the pictures. I don't think it's real, but I have had people tell me to my face that, hey man, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, this thing exists. Me and my grandpa saw it when I was 12. Blah, 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 whatever. There's always somebody that'll corroborate a story. So I could totally be wrong. Just because I don't believe it's real doesn't mean anything. So yeah, I don't feel it's real, but hey, the hell do I know? So again, there's a couple kinds of different tribes, man. There was a story that came out a while back about this person that had a very close relationship with the tribe that they lived near, that kind of surrounded their property. And they said they'd never had any real beefs with the Bigfoot. They just they knew they were there, and, they knew of each other's presence, but they kept privacy and things like that. And everyone sort of respected each other's space, and they kind of lived side by side, which is so freaking neat, by the way. But anyway, I won't get into that. But so the lady claimed that she could understand certain things telepathically with the Bigfoot. And again, that's just a subject that I don't care to get into. But let's just, for argument's sake, say that she was telling the truth and she's right. So they had told her that she should keep her dogs and children inside during the evenings as much as possible, because there was another tribe nearby that did not sort of, they didn't play by the same rules of engagement as they did. They didn't respect the family. They were kind of, hunters. They were, they were out for whatever they could get, sort of thing. And they warned her ahead of time to protect herself. And then they said that they would protect her as much as they could as far as keeping them away. So, how much of that's true? Well, I'll leave that up to you to whatever you believe. But it's still an interesting story. So I think it depends on the tribe and the tribes, whether they get along, whether they don't, that could go either way. Yeah, sure. Micah, I totally missed that comment. Thank you, Jaxie. So, you got hit by a car. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Oh, that's what Mike is saying. He's going to find me that video because he's laid up right now and has nothing else to do. Got it. Well, like I said, I have a supposed megalodon story. I'm sorry, video that I want to post, but I haven't got around to making it yet. But I'll tell you what, if Micah comes up with this rake video and it's something that I can't turn down, then I may just have to do that one instead. Pam knows the story to this one, really? It sounds familiar. Like, I think she's said this before, but I still can't remember. I am so terrified of sharks. It's probably my main fear in life. I didn't think it was a Bigfoot. I don't really know what it is, but it doesn't really look like a Bigfoot. It looks like some sort of, I don't know, forest imp, or I don't know. Could be completely fake. Yeah, it could be a feral human. That's a hoax. Yeah, okay. That's not shocking, because it really could just be anything. Let's see. So I have a lot of artwork and stuff to go through here, but Sorry guys, I'm randomly scrolling, looking for something that sticks out. Oh, yeah, you guys want to look at this picture? Speaking of hoax, that's not fair. I don't know that this is a hoax, but God, come on. I mean, what is this supposed to be? It's supposed to be the Jersey Devil, I think, like a winged goat type creature. Somebody asked earlier in the, yeah, the Jersey Devil. Somebody asked earlier, you know, what do you feel about like all cryptids? I'm like, well, most of them are BS, and I think this is one of them too. I think this is something I can't get behind, is the Jersey Devil. It's a unicorn. It's a goat-shaped unicorn. Yeah, I think this picture is kind of laughable if you want my honest opinion about it. Oh, Kathy, look what we've come across. I was hoping we were going to come across this one. Kind of why I started digging, honestly. To all the new people in the group, in this group chat, rather, if you've never seen this picture before, this is by Bigfoot World, Kathy Westerman, aim to frame. This is a genuine picture of a skunk ape. So, forgive my language, but fuck what you know. Whatever's out there in the world could be fake. It could be, you know, could be whatever. This is a genuine picture of a skunk ape from right here in Central Florida. Yeah, I love this picture. You guys want to take a closer look? Let's get in on him. That's cool, Caleb. Thank you. I know a lot of people from BC that, you know, have a lot of interactions with Sasquatch. But so, yeah, Michelle, you know, if you're not on this channel or on Bigfoot World, this would be the first time you've ever seen it. It's kind of an exclusive picture, really. It's, I believe Bigfoot World has a trademark on this picture, or a copyright, as it were, on this picture. Although we have permission to use it, but I'm gonna go ahead and point this out again. Does everybody see the ponytail right here? Do you see how it goes from head, and then there's light, and then there's this little arc right here? That's a ponytail. It's not outside the realm of possibility to think that Bigfoot do something with their hair. I mean, a ponytail is very simple. Thank you, Kathy. I know you had some sort of, yeah, copyright on. So a little backstory on this picture. Basically, before, I think, Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think before there was a Bigfoot World, I think when it was just aim to frame, Kathy Westerman enjoyed going out into the forest and taking pictures of tree structures, which, if we back out on this picture, you'll see that there is a tree structure that we're talking about here. So she took the picture of the tree structure and then got it home and noticed that there was a black dot in the middle of it and started zooming in. And the further we zoom in, we see this guy. Yeah, this is a cropped version, you're right. There is an original version that's like all you can see is the trees. So, in my humble opinion, the best, one of the best, if not the best picture of a skunk ape that we've seen in the last 10 years, easily, if not ever. Fantastic picture. Of course, you're welcome. They're not just kind words though, they're truth. My little machine is telling me I have 13 minutes of battery left. Well, that's fine. Um, D-Rob, it's hard to say, man. I mean, once you get a feel for looking at pictures and video, you kind of start to get a cadence for shutting down things that you just that's fake, that's fake, that's fake. And I tend to think that things that are too good to be true are just that. Although I am still on the fence about the Independence Day footage. I think that's probably one of the best pieces of Sasquatch evidence that we have to date, even better than Patterson-Gimlin and better than Freeman. But if it's real, and I have to say if, because we just don't know. But yeah, sometimes things are just too good to be true, and you're like, there's no way. And you always think that you can find holes in it. So there's nothing to think about Sonny Vader, Jaxie. Sonny Vader is a creator of fiction, and that's fine. It just pisses me off when people think that his stuff is real. When a quick trip to his YouTube it will show you that every single video he's ever shot is on a tripod, meaning that it was staged and shot on purpose. That's it, man. That's all I can say. It was just, all of this stuff is real. And it all follows the same narrative of, Bigfoot found at human remains. It's just, get out of here, man. It's sensationalism. And that's fine. But he never really truly announces anywhere that, hey, this is fiction. It's just very obviously fiction. Jaxie, if you go back within the last 10 videos that we've done, I've done probably at least 2 on Sonny Vader. So yeah. One of them slipped by me. One of them with the one that threw the log over its shoulder, that slipped by me. I didn't realize that was Sonny Vader, but once you start looking at all of his videos, you'll see it's all the same production quality. It's all very staged. It is what it is. So as long as we're truthful and upfront about it, I don't care what you make. But I think his videos are purposely deceiving. So what was that? That may be true, Caleb. They may know your intentions. They may be an empath. Maybe they just can sense the vibrations of a camera. I don't know exactly how cameras work. I'm not a smart guy like that, but I'm sure that cameras they emit something when they're about to take a picture or when they're capturing. So they probably know. They're pretty smart. They've been around for a long time. So I think that they're that smart. Either they're smart enough to not want their picture taken because they don't want their existence to be proven, or they are smart in a more prehistoric way where they don't really know what cameras are, but they know to avoid them. You know, so it's kind of like how elephants know how to find water. You know, they just know to avoid cameras. Oh, thanks for the drink, Connor. I appreciate it. Well, I had to buy it, but still, I think it makes us friends. I don't know, Kathy. Did you see? If you saw the, it was maybe 2 videos ago, maybe 3. The guy had sent me a picture of what he believed was a Sasquatch, but I asked him if he had a picture without the red circle in it, and he told me, he said no, because I had to delete the picture. And I was like, you what? Why did you do that? He goes, well, because when I went out there again, he goes, they telepathically explained to me that they found me taking their picture disrespectful and they didn't like it. So this guy deleted his picture, like, you know, because on this basis. I mean, look, whether I believe the guy or not, or whether I believe it actually happened or whatever, it doesn't matter. The fact that he believed it, to me, is interesting, you know, that he went that far as to delete the pictures. I think that they can see different frequencies than we can, including ours. I think they can see our frequency, plus they can see different ones. I gotta be honest with you, Kathy. I kind of eye rolled at it too, but I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. I mean, you know, I try not to be too judgmental on the subject, but all right, guys. Let's see. I'm gonna randomly go through some photos here and see what there is to see. I mean, I think this is Fred Dunn, actually, the late great Fred Dunn. Bad camera photos and lack of. Yeah, sure, D-Rob. So, look, the bottom line is this. When we go out into the woods to take a picture of a bear, we know that the bear is there. We know, you know, how to set up our cameras. We know a lot of different things. The people that see a Sasquatch, nobody is going out into the woods with a camera to capture the picture of a Sasquatch. The people that actually capture those pictures are scared shitless. They randomly come across it. Dude, the next time you see a bird that you want to take a picture of, grab your cell phone camera and see if you get a picture. It's difficult, to say the least. So to be shocked, to pull your phone out of your pocket, to load up the camera app, to get, by the time you do all that, the creature's gone. So this is why we're getting a lot of these, like, sort of, blurry, unstable pictures. People like Kathy walk around with a camera mounted to their shoulder, mounted to their chest. Scott Carpenter did the same thing. You'll catch things, but you only catch it in the post video. When you're at home going through the video, that's when you catch the creatures that are they don't show themselves, blatantly. you'll catch them in sweeping. Great. I love Sir Spooks. I will go check it out. Wow. If you guys saw the comments that are hidden that I'm like deleting, like I'm blocking the people, it's amazing. These people are losers and they just have nothing better to do. This guy asked me, "How are your balls?" I don't even know what that means. I do believe. Let's try to find us one. One more. There is the other half of the Erickson footage. This guy. Very cool footage. Yeah, Caleb. I mean, we've all seen Todd Standing's videos. Unfortunately, I believe that they're all staged. We did a video about it, which you're welcome to go back and check. I'm not going to argue the topic of Todd Standing, so you can go back and check out our video if you're interested in our stance on it. But unfortunately, Todd is in my opinion, a hoaxer. But I don't know, man. D-Rob, I've seen quite a bit of IR footage of Sasquatch. So I don't know about that. Maybe they're in cave systems. Maybe they're burying themselves in mud or dirt to avoid that sort of type of detection. But I think we've caught a few of them slipping. So I think that they do have a body temperature, and I don't think that they can hide it. Yeah, I mean, Kathy has, IR footage, tons of it, and they're on it. So I don't think that they can hide their body temperature now. I think they have physical ways of hiding their body temperature, but not like, they're not geothermically changing their body temperature, so. Oh man, Todd's a clown. I think that he's had Sasquatch experiences, but he did a video. He did a movie. You know how his group is called, what is it, Sylvanic or whatever the hell his group is called. He originally did a horror movie about Sasquatch chasing people, and that's what that movie was called. It was called Sylvanic. And then, when you add in things like them finding the gloves inside of his truck, and he has so many inconsistencies in his story. Unfortunately, I can't buy it as a whole, and that's unfortunate. I mean, everyone wants to believe his videos to be true, but he's got a lot going against him. If I'm honest with you, he does have a few positives too, a few things that you're like, well, that kind of makes sense, but then it's like. That's a lot to unpack. If I'm honest with you, like we could go probably for an hour just on that subject. So, I mean, if nothing else, you know, we can fall back on Thinker Thunker's video. Not that Thinker Thunker is the end all of the subject, but he does a good job in debunking Jake, which is Todd's main Bigfoot picture. It's Todd. It's literally Todd in makeup. And if one Bigfoot is fake, then they're all fake, in my personal opinion. So if you had to fake one, then you had to fake the rest of them. Because why fake one if the other one, you know? So anyway, yeah. That being said, yeah, I think we can all pretty well fall on the same page that Todd is a hoaxer. And that's a shame, but it's true. Thank you, D-Rob. We do this every 2 weeks, every other Friday night. We post usually the day before or the day of that we are going to do it. Please, you know, check out our videos, check out our channel as a whole. We enjoy the live stream though, so we will be here not next week, but the week after. And I always look forward to this, and I appreciate everyone joining us. But as of right now, we're going to say good night. I appreciate everyone joining us. And this is J Mac, and I'm out.